What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Rudy, and in today's video we're going to be headed to Racer's Edge Tuning to strap the car on the dyno and get it tuned by Lund. We have some MS-109 loaded up in the car. The car's still on E85. I wasted most of it last night, but there's still a little bit left in the tank. By the time we get to Racer's Edge Tuning, it should be fully empty, and we'll dump the MS-109 in there and start tuning the car. I'm pumped to get this car back on the road. For those of you who don't know, the car was down for 3 months. I bought parts 3 months ago to prepare to get ready for an event called the Red List Group, which is a quarter-mile event out here in California, to go run some times. I also had plans to set it up for Texas 2K and participate in some of those events and get in on some of the street action as well. But unfortunately, through that time, man, there was huge storms running through Texas, and a lot of my parts were being shipped through there. We got caught up in some East Coast storms, and things got delayed. A lot of parts were back ordered, so it's been a mess, man. A lot of people were getting their cars ready for Texas too. So with all that going on, parts got delayed, and it ended up taking 3 months. Another thing is, we're developing a lower pulley for the 2020 GT500s. We're working with Innovators West, so I had to send in my stock balancer so that they can mock everything up, throw it on a 3D scanner so that way they can make the new part. And they ran into some issues with clearance on the pulleys that surround the balancer. So I want to do a 30% lower, so they have to make that balancer super huge. So once you go bigger on the lower pulley, you start having clearance issues with some of the parts down there. So they don't manufacture pulleys, the surrounding pulleys that are around, like the tensioners and things like that. So they had to reach out to another manufacturer to develop those pieces. That way they can fit their damper on there. That prolonged the process. We're still in product development for that. I would say that's going to take a couple more months, but what we ended up thinking was going to be a couple of weeks ended up turning into 3 months, and pulley's still not ready. So that backtracked us. The car was sitting, couldn't start, couldn't put anything back together unless we had that damper. So parts finally came. The car's put back together now. It's running great, and we're gonna get it strapped up and ready to get tuned. So the car pretty much has everything you can possibly put on it, aside from injectors and a fuel system and a lid, Palm Beach dyno lid. So we have a Kong ported blower, the Kong throttle body. We have the JLT intake, currently on ID 1300 injectors, Division X fuel rails, Cook's headers with no cats. We have for supporting mods, things that you need. They're not going to give you power, but it's supporting mods to support the entire build, whether it be cooling, whether it be belt slip. So for belt slip issues, these cars have a lot of belt slip issues. So we had to do a Whipple belt tensioner and the SPE auxiliary idler pulley. So that's on there to prevent belt slip. For cooling, we did the Whipple intercooler brick and the Whipple manifold cooler. So that's a high flow manifold cooler. It's the black piece that you see connected to the supercharger. So all that's going to help for cooling. Another thing we did for cooling was the SPE thermostat. So that's all going to help with cooling. We still have to do an ice tank once we do the lower pulley. The car's making power, man. The car's now on a 2.3 pulley. So that's the smallest pulley you can go on these cars. I know SPE has a 2.27, but that's just for patent purposes. You can't copy another manufacturer's pulley sizes, so you got to switch it up. But a 2.27 to a 2.3, that's not even a pound of boost difference. So you're not going to see a huge difference between a 2.27 and the 2.3. So that's pretty much the smallest pulley you can run. If you want to go any more boost than that, you have to do the lower pulley. So that's what I'm going to do. On this setup, the car should be making 1100 wheel horsepower. I found out something pretty badass on the cluster. So if you go to the Cobra performance shift indicator and have the shift light mode set to drag, you get a pretty sick light that pops up on your shift point. So check it out. See that light that pops up when it hits the shift point? So that's pretty sick, man. Of course, it's going to be set to 7500. That's the max you can put it at. So that light will pop up once your RPM hits the shift point. All right, we just pulled up to Greg's shop. Gonna get the car strapped up. Send the logs over to Lund, so see you guys in a bit. Car's all strapped up. We're about to get it running and send some logs over to Lund. See how much power it puts down. just finished dynoing up the car. It put down 960 wheel horsepower and 730 pound-feet of torque. There is a little bit of bout slip on the car, and we're on this fat ass tire too, so that's probably eating up a ton of wheel horsepower. But again, dyno numbers are just dyno numbers. We don't go by that shit. It's the way the car performs at the track. So we're gonna take it to the drag strip this upcoming weekend and see what times we can throw down, and that'll be proof of what the car's making, not the dyno. All right guys, the car just finished getting tuned. It put down 960 wheel horsepower, but again, I never go by the dyno numbers. The dyno is just a tuning device to tune the car. What's really going to tell you what the car's making is the 60 to 130 times, which we're about to get in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. And the drag strip, your ETs and your mile per hour, that's going to tell you what the car's making. Again, we're on a fat drag radio. That's chewing up about 50 wheel horsepower, and Greg likes to call this dyno a stingy dyno. So it's easily making over 1,000 wheel horsepower as it stands right now. But we're going to get our drag times, and we're going to get some 60 to 130s, and that's really going to prove what the car's making. We got our boy Race Spec right here.
What's going on, guys? What's good?
He let us borrow the draggy. We're gonna do some 60 to 130 times and get some pulls in the car and see how it feels with the new setup. So I'll see you guys when we get to the spot.
Something.
I think the pipe broke off.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it broke off.
Header.
The headers or the catback?
Yeah.
So what's the plan?
I can't run it like this.
Shit.
All right, guys, we ran into an issue. We were about to do 60 to 130 pulls on the car, but an exhaust pipe blew off from the header. You can see right here. Right where it connects to the X pipe. So unfortunately, my guy's not at his shop, so I can't take the car to get fixed there, and all the muffler shops out here are closed. So I'm not gonna risk doing any pulls in the car. The air to fuel ratios could be messed up with the open pipe, or maybe it's not, but I'm just not gonna take that risk on my car if anything were to happen to it doing pulls like that. So I'm gonna take it to the shop first thing tomorrow morning, or whenever I can get it back to the shop so we can fix this issue. Guess it wasn't meant to be to do pulls today, man.
Nah, dude, but look at this fire picture though.
Oh shit, that is a pretty sick picture.
Oh, that thing was loud, bro.
Yeah, it was loud as fuck.
I thought it was just a backfire.
Nah, but it's all good, man. It's nothing serious. Just pop the pipe back on and everything will be good to go. She does look good though, man. Even broken on the side of the road. This car is sexy as hell. But that's gonna go ahead and wrap up this video, guys. Sorry I couldn't get any 60 to 130s for you guys today, but stay tuned, that's coming. As soon as we get the car fixed, we're gonna get some racing in as well. We're gonna hit the drag strip. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.